gentlemen, welcome back to day 2 of Gifts World Expo 2025. We are delighted to see you all here as we continue our journey through the dynamic world of gifting. Today, we get ready to expect a stellar lineup of fireside chat, presentation, and panel discussions, providing valuable insights and practical knowledge. Attending these sessions will give you new perspectives and actionable strategies. Don't miss out on the knowledge and inspiration shared throughout the day. Let's begin the day with a session that celebrates the powerful role women are playing in redefining the gifting industry. I am pleased to invite Ms. Himani Gulati, Director of Mix Exhibitions Private Limited, to lead the panel discussion on women in gifting, with focus on the rising contribution of women in Indian gifting industry. She is defining the future. Can we have a huge round of applause? Ms. Himani is a trailblazer in India's exhibition industry with over 25 years of leadership. And I am Ahmedabad alumni and PGD holder from the Chartered Institute of Marketing, UK. She has pioneered several landmark initiatives, including creating successful brands. Under her guidance, MEX has launched premier trade shows for various industry verticals, including garment and textile manufacturing, gifting, and lightning through shows like Gift World Expo, Gartex Tex Process India, Denim Show, Consumer Electronics World Expo, Canada Light Expo, and ASEAN Light Plus Design Expo. Please join me in giving a warm round of applause for Miss Himani as she takes the stage. Now, please welcome our speakers for the enlightening session. Mrs. Shalini Mittal, founder and CEO of Crafters Corner. Can we have a huge round of applause? A little louder, please. Thank you. With a master's in marketing and a 2-year diploma in interior designing, Shalini Mittal has 9 years of consulting experience with Unilever. Passionate about growth, she has completed certifications in business management, automation, and communication. Recently, she also led the AI Summit as marketing consultant, engaging 500 plus entrepreneurs. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Saloni Sachdeva, co-founder of Kivat. Can we have a huge round of applause for Ms. Saloni? She's a first-gen entrepreneur and Babson graduate, redefining corporate gifting and trade marketing with highly customized gifting solutions. From her Kaithal manufacturing unit, she rolls out 5+ new SKUs monthly, leading one of the India's fastest growing lifestyle brand. Next, we have Mrs. Raj Agarwal, founder and CEO of Big Gift. Can we have a huge round of applause? From humble beginnings, Mrs. Raj Agarwal has grown Big Gift into a pan-India enterprise serving 300 plus clients across IT, pharma, automotive, and BFSI. Her sharp marketing and branding acumen has led to exceptional 84% client retention in the unorganized gifting sector. Her journey is one of resilience and relationship building. Okay, can we have a huge round of applause for all of them? Okay, ma'am, so let's start with our discussion.
It's great to be sitting here among great women. I am very happy to welcome all of you on this stage. And all of you are leaders in your own streams, in your own lives, the business that you're doing. And I know that journey as a woman, how it is. Being a woman, I understand how the journey is. So I will quickly start with my first question on your journey into the gifting industry and what inspired you to get into this industry. Raji, you can start with this.
First of all, very good morning to each one present here. And I would like to thank the Max Group for giving us this opportunity to be a part of this panel, because I feel proud being a woman and taking this forward. So it goes ways back, 22 years right now with Big Gift, but it was not a small start. I am born and brought up in Calcutta, a vibrant city where business was nowhere a plan that came to me. But yes, I hail from a business family. And there were a lot of learning which, as a child, I got to get from my father. And he has been the real mentor through my childhood, where I used to support him, understand. So there is no management and a learning that I've gone through. But yes, definitely a business learning which I learned live from my father. I would like to put this across couple of learning which I got from him and which made me come forward with Big Gift. First of all, whatever you start it with your heart and give your 100% and do not stop until you succeed. So that's the most important thing which I got to learn from him, saying that you should not stop. Second thing is trust. Build a trust whatever way, and always remain grounded in whatever you are doing in your life. So when I came to Bangalore after marriage, my husband was into a pen industry, but Bangalore happened to us due to various reasons. To put it across, Bangalore was a very, very new city. And since there was no business planning or business training that I have gone through, but what helped me was these learnings which I carried from my parents. And there was a lot of gap in this particular industry because it was completely unorganized and male dominated basically. What we see today, when I stand here 22 years now, there is a completely different, which I will definitely put it across for people to understand what a role women has played in a corporate gifting industry. But yes, in this particular journey, and the gap which was there, which helped me look into it and said, this is the place, because I always loved since my childhood to network with people, build relationship with people. So these two things of building relationship and networking with people was the core.
Absolutely, absolutely. I totally agree to every word you put across.
Yeah.
You would like to add to this, Saloni?
Sure. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. So maybe I'd like to answer why I got into business. Gifting is definitely a revenue stream, a very important revenue stream for us. However, business is something like our brand is more than just gifting.
Yeah.
We are
to tech brands.
Yeah, we're in the tech space. We're majorly into audio, power, and lifestyle. So gifting is one of the revenue streams that we are building, and a very important one. The venture capital fund is majorly controlled by men, a lot of men, which is why a lot of the products that you see that are getting launched are going to cater to men. When women have access to capital, when women have access to funds, they're able to build products that are for women centric. I think that is one of the major reasons why I wanted to get into business. And gifting definitely is one of the very important revenue streams right now for us. And majorly
Absolutely, you thought about women, so you came into business.
I wanted to build products, and I wanted to sort of, maybe you can say, uplift women, because when you have a seat at the table, you build a
Understand
seat
their needs
at the
better
table.
and you
Yeah.
create something specifically for them.
Exactly.
Great thought.
Yeah.
Shalini, would you like to add something to this?
Absolutely. So, good morning, everyone. And thank you so much for giving me this space to share with you. So, it's a very valid question that why I jumped into this gifting business.
Because you were from a very different background of interior design, and then you worked with Unilever. So, I think you had a totally different profile. So, what got you into this stream?
I was quilling. I could figure it out that there are other people who would be wanting to do quilling, but there was a major gap that there was no quilling tool, there was no punches, there were no scoreboards, there were nothing available in India. And what really got me into business is when I had to go and ask one of my neighbor's son that I want to order something from London, can I have your credit card? Because I was not allowed to use a credit card, as the plastic money today is so popular. At that moment, nobody had a credit card of their own, and I had to ask him. And that really gave me a jerk. A girl like me who is really willing to do something has no gadgets available here in India, and there could be so many other people who has a similar problem. And that was a time when I decided that I'm gonna get those gadgets And we started from importing those gadgets to today manufacturing those gadgets, selling those gadgets, and going global, having
Great. So
exposed
you
to-
identified the gap
Yes.
and that got you into it. So your
Absolutely.
hobby converted into a business.
Yes.
Great stories you all have to share. Now I go on to my next question. What now they say that she is defining. The topic is she is defining. So in your experience, what unique perspectives, creative approaches, or consumer insights do women entrepreneurs bring to the gifting industry that might be different or more pronounced than traditional players?
I'll just put it across this way. First, and women are process oriented, and they are, and definitely the process helps in any business, any workflow. So that's the core of being a woman and bringing lot to the table. They are emotionally strong, where they can handle lot of things. Gifting need emotion. So when I talk,
You are jumping to my next question. Please continue.
yes, the gifting needs emotions. So as I mentioned that, yes, and emotions, gifting is emotions. If you ask me, it is synonymous with the emotions. So that itself brings lot to the table as a woman, this thing. So I feel these two are the cores which are required, and that takes it forward. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Women do have higher EQs, right? Emotional intelligence.
I think the men here will think that women are all talking about all goodies about themselves.
But am I going to get cancelled for it?
No. But we actually do have the superpowers. I think the way we multitask and we do so many things together, men can't. They can they are very good at whatever they do, but men can focus on one thing.
One thing at a time.
One thing at a time.
I don't want to get cancelled. I did not say it.
My husband was looking at me.
Absolutely.
My brother's also looking at me.
No, but they know it, heart of hearts, they know it.
Yes, I will say she is defining that. Yes, now gifting industry is actually defined by women. Actually,
It's so nice to see so many women around. I remember my dad was into the gifting business and Shidipura, the traditional gifting market, and it was like a little shabby place, and only men would go. Women, people would look up to you like that if they found a woman there. So it was, women did think of getting into that line. But with the corporatization and with the advancements and progress that ever has happened in the industry, and the shift from just diaries, calendars, traditional gifts to a wide variety of gifts has given avenues for women to come forward. Yes, Shalini, over to you. Sorry, Saloni, you wanted to add something?
Just one word. I
Yeah.
think we bring perspective. I think as women, we bring perspective. We have an eye for design.
Yes.
Totally.
I don't want to generalize it, but I feel that maybe we can design better. We are better with processes. We're better with people management.
Because yes, inherently we are creative.
so yeah, creative part of absolutely very, very important. Yes.
Yes, Shalini,
So I
on
think,
to you.
yeah, thank you. So I really love this line when we say she's defining, because it's so apt for all the women, those not just into gifting industry, but maybe any other industry. But talking specifically about gifting, if you see a woman will be able to buy something when men is telling you, "Iska kya karoge?" It's only the woman who knows. "आप छोड़ दो."
create a purpose.
Yeah, she knows it. "आप छोड़ दो, मैं कुछ करूँगी." पर ये तो बेकार है. नहीं, मैं कुछ कर लूँगी. And when she comes back home, she knows how to define that thing and how to beautify. And when he's asking, "ये कब लेके आए?" ये तभी लिया था जब आपके साथ वहाँ गए थे. So
And whenever you have to give something, I think a man will never come forward to select a gift or say, yes, you take this for this occasion or something. They always leave it to the women to decide the gifts. So if women are deciding the gifts, what is to be gifted, I think women are the creators who will create gifts. I think it's the balance between men and women which drives everything, not just life, businesses, everything. So that balance is important. But women who were in the background just need to come to the forefront and take their seat besides the men. And not just be behind men. It should not be who is the woman behind your success, who is the woman besides you in your success.
Just
So
one,
that line needs to change. now.
so just one more thing I would like to add for the men. Man completes woman. If we spell woman, it man is there inside that. So that's the support men should give always, and it should always be beside, not behind. That's what I feel.
I think women are successful only when they have their men supporting
Absolutely.
them. Absolutely. So the men could be anybody, their colleagues, their parents, their siblings, their spouses. So everybody, so men need to support women and women need to support men.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now we go on to our next question. I think we've already covered that. It thrives on personalization and emotional connection. And women have inherent understanding of relationships and they create more meaningful and successful gifts. So we've covered this. We're not going to talk about this. Now, beyond creativity, what specific business acumen or leadership style have you observed or personally employed that has particularly been effective in navigating and growing within this competitive industry?
For me, if I need to define, it's more about connecting people, networking with them, and building relationship. That completes me.
Bang on.
And I feel it's all about women. Most of them are like that.
Bang
Yes.
on, bang on. Everybody likes to connect with you.
Thank you.
I'd like to maybe back this up with an example, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
perfect. Go.
So I would like to show you this product that we created for one of the cement brands.
Okay.
You can probably tell what cement brand I'm talking about with the colors. I don't want to name them, but this is what we created for them. I think the USP that we are majorly focusing on is product design. We genuinely want to add to the Make in India initiative of our country. We want to build molds. We want to design products. We want to own the molds. So I think we are going very heavy on design. We understand the industry. We understand the customer that we are trying to pitch to. And then we build something that resonates with that client, with that corporate. I think design is what we are focusing on. And
Very, very well said,
Yeah.
Saloni. Shalini, over to you.
So for me, I think there was an added factor which I don't want to ignore talking about it. What I've noticed is we as a woman, at times we feel that we are deprived of some appreciation normally in our lives. And gifting industry definitely gives you that, I would say, bhar bhar ke. You know, when a person sitting next to you or maybe your family members, your relatives, keep quiet, don't want to give you that, appreciation of words. But when you are into gifting, you get that appreciation even from your clients who come and tell you, यार मजा आ गया आपने क्या काम करके दिया है मतलब खुश हो गया दिल अगली बार आपसे ही काम कराना है. I think that works more than the money what you get in your
Yes, I
bank.
totally agree with you, Shalini. There was a friend of mine who was sitting with me yesterday, and she was into HR background all these years. Quite talented, but not getting out of the comfort zone. Found some place near her house, was working there all through. And she met me yesterday, and she's like, I moved into a gifting company, and I'm creating hampers and I'm creating solutions for them, working for the last 6 months. I didn't know I have this potential.
Absolutely.
So, I had held back all that all these years, and I'm getting so much appreciation at my work that I thought I wasted 15 years of my life.
Yes.
So, sometimes even your work or home, you're not applauded. And then when this creative aspect of yours comes out and you're applauded, it really motivates you and elevates you.
Yes. And I think words can really work as magic for anyone. I mean, कि बात कह के प्यार से बात कह के किससे कोई भी काम करा सकते हो. So I think that's what in gifting industry, when you get that appreciation, you feel like doing more and more. It doesn't become work for you anymore. So that's the reason for me, for sure.
Now we finished our inspirations. Now let's come on to the hurdles. You as women, what hurdles have you faced growing your business?
So definitely, as I mentioned, 22 years back, if I go, I see there were a lot of hurdles and challenges. Being a woman, first of all, it was a male-dominated. If I look back and see, I don't see a woman around working in the same industry. I hardly knew 4 to 5, 5 of them. Count the numbers. So that's again reaching out to male was not easy because the trust factor was not easy. How to trust them, work with them. It was very, very difficult connecting them and taking it forward. And they used to consider us as a weaker section of this thing.
Totally get you.
So for them, they cannot trust that we will be able to deliver. So that was the biggest hurdle that I faced during the initial years. And then started building up on that, building relationship, picking up people, and local artisans were my strong strength, which I felt we should start working to build that trust. And this is how the challenges were converted into all the possibilities.
Great. On to you, Saloni.
Lucky. I think I'm lucky. I've been in this space for the last 3 years only. But I've been in the consumer electronics space for the last 7 years. But entered the gifting space, it's been 2 to 3 years only. So I think I'm pretty lucky. But yes, there's always this first gen entrepreneur. This is a new industry for you. My dad's been in the natural rubber trade business. This is completely new for us, completely new. But there's just this thing about getting a seat at the table. I think that is quite a hurdle, but I think that's with maybe any gender, any industry. I think that is the only hurdle that I face. That there's this constant knock on the door, but you have to be resilient. I think with your resilience, you'll get there. You'll get the POs.
You know, once you deliver, once you do your job well, then I think the acclaim and that thing comes in naturally and the hurdles fade away.
Yeah. I think the marketing teams love us because we always go with ideas. We're into cutlets. So we would go with ideas, we'd go with pitches. We'd tell them, okay, we'll give you this. And some of the products are not even in our catalog, but we'll go out of our way.
Yeah, there are advantages of being a woman also. They're not only just disadvantages. So with your team, you know, when you have female colleagues around, they're very comfortable coming to you, discussing issues, problems, because they know we'll understand. So that's an advantage also. You get to build your team in a better way. Though men might shy away from you, but women would come. Yes, Shalini.
Okay, so for me, it was very different. I started my business 18 years back, and I don't have to tell anyone that there was no Facebook, there was no WhatsApp, there was no Instagram, there was no whatever you have, these, Snapchats and all this thing, nothing. The only thing I had where I actually sustained my business was Skype. I literally used to go on Skype, show my customers what I've got from London, what I've got from US, what I've got from Canada. And I used to take an appointment. And everybody, those who have been my customer, would know. If you say left, iska matlab selected. If you say right, iska matlab not selected. That's how I used to do the billing. So no website, nothing. Only there was a small website. And also, I don't want to say this, but I have to tell you. I literally, has anybody paid anything to Just Dial ever? It's a free service. I paid 22,000 rupees to list my categories. And the category is still there. They said, ma'am, we don't have any demand for these categories and we are not going to do it for you. If you want something to be generated, you have to pay. And I still have that invoice way back in 2010 when I paid them 22,000 rupees only to lift that punchcraft material and quilling material.
Actually, technology has changed so much. Like our generation is this sandwich between the old generation and the newest generation. Yes, as you see, you know, but we're trying to imbibe everything. We still have the old values. We are trying to get tech savvy and we are the sandwich. But I think the greatest learnings we have with us.
For sure.
What you mentioned about Just Dial, no, I still remember. I would like to put this across. We had a barter with Just Dial in 2004-5, and where we gave them the product for their employees, and they gave us a listing of our corporate gifting as the only supplier in entire South.
I wish I would have known you. I would have taken this idea. But for me, it was more of the technology and more of the presentation of product because honestly, most of the women who are in gifting today would agree with me. They generally don't start with any shop. They only start with one room, terrace, garage, parking, or anywhere,
any space that they get.
Because Instagram has really helped. For me, that was not the case at that time. So
you see so many women working these days. They just have their social media page on and they're selling from the comfort of their home.
They are.
So this technology has really helped women to come forward, especially in gifting also. They just create their websites, have a social media page, get followers, and it's going on.
Yeah, it's so much easier, but it has its own challenges as well.
Yes, but it's still easier than earlier times when we did not have these media available. Yeah. We jump on to our next question, which we all know, work-life balance. With the pressures that this industry has, especially the festive time, seasons, then how do you manage your work life?
So, good question. In fact, work-life balance, and especially for now, though it goes for the men also, but yes, for the women, especially if you ask me, it's not an easy task. And since during those days when everything was done, like today, we have the option of having home services, home support, and everything is online. We can take anything, we can avail anything. But during those days, I had a kid, 1-year-old kid, a daughter, leaving her at home. But it was not an easy task, but I always felt today she might be feeling that mama come back home. But in the after 5 years or 7 years, when she look up to me, she'll say, Mama, I'm proud of you. And that's what makes me feel different. So that's where I feel I have managed work-life balance very well. And I really have a supporting husband.
Any key mantras for work-life balance for the new gen who is trying to do it or struggling with it? I don't think they will be struggling.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I have an amazing family.
Yeah,
amazing
that's what I'm
team.
saying. Now you have everything ready, all set. You don't have to do that work-life balance. I
But it's a
think.
myth. It's a myth.
It's a myth?
Work-life balance is a myth for entrepreneurs. I don't think anybody can ace it. When you're waking up, you're thinking about your business. You're going to sleep, you're thinking about your business. I am also involved.
How do you cut off from that?
I'm still struggling. I would like to learn from you. I swear, I'm struggling. But I have a very supportive family. My parents, my brother, I think very, very, very supportive, especially with women in business. I think women also don't get a lot of capital to play with. You know, they would probably be doing something that doesn't have access to capital. But I think I think I'm super blessed. I'm grateful for the access that I have, for the family that I have. But it's a myth. It's a myth. You spend so many Saturdays in office. You don't. There are times when you would not go out. Sometimes Sundays are also working. You're in the office. You with your team, with the ops team, with
I
the
think you start enjoying that.
yes. I love the hustle. I that's why I think that's why you can survive.
But I think, and I don't know whether you would agree with that or not, the digitalization, you have the Blinkit and everything and house helps in place. So, you're in a busy business meeting and you get a message from home that this is, run out of this butter and this and that.
Yeah.
So you're placing your order in between a meeting. So I think all this has really helped us in work-life balance. Earlier, it was so difficult. You had to pick up the stuff and, buy it on your way home and take it home and furbish everything at home. So it's become very easy with all these things that have come up.
I would like to add one instance of my life. Actually, the Deepavali festival comes, and that was a core season for us. And Karwa Chauth comes during that period. We celebrate Karwa Chauth. It's a main festival for us. I still remember there was an order that I was working on, and Chand has come around 9:30. But I was able to do the puja only after 12:30 because there was a commitment. There was a commitment to deliver, and it was like, and this we faced in the initial 5-6 years. I have done this continuously.
You had a support system in place. Otherwise, you would not have been able to go through
That's
that
where
phase.
family matters, and real support comes from the family and the team at work, definitely.
Totally. Shalini, your views.
So for me, I would resonate with Saloni totally. Honestly, if you're thinking of having a work-life balance when you're an entrepreneur, then better to think about it twice because you will not get it. Staff has a reason to come at 9 a.m. and to leave at 6 p.m. and not thinking about the office at all. But you have got no reason. Your job hours are not 9 to 5. Your job hours are 5 to 9. And when you have people like us, who are into exports, then everything is gone. Europe timing is different, Canada timing is different, PST, MST, IST, and you are all lost. I think the real balance comes not from entrepreneur side, it comes from the family side. If you ask me, we do not balance anything. It's our husband, it's our kids, it's our family people who are actually balancing. They are the one who are heroes. Just that we are in front, they are fighting at the back. So we are just getting the credit of being an entrepreneur. But to be very honest, they are the real heroes who are actually adjusting with us. And you have no idea they're adjusting with butter not being there, parantha not being cooked, the helper not cooking it properly not getting that fruit for you, or maybe having half tiffins, no water bottle, what not is happening.
Shalini, because we all take the onus that we are responsible
Yes.
to provide
I
all
think
this.
that's
That's why we start feeling guilty.
Yes.
Otherwise, as a human being, everybody is supposed to take care of themselves.
Yes,
So,
that's so
but
true.
you are talking this and you're giving them credit because we feel that we are responsible.
I mean, even if the kid is like 15 years, 10 years, the mothers are still feeding them, and that's how we are about this culture. But we love our culture, but mom guilt never goes away.
You have to start loving it a little less.
Not there.
I get it.
Not like
My daughter is 24 now. Still, I feel the same.
I
If Lexi's not grown up, still I feel that.
Now, I would have my next question. How your business is being women led, how are you leveraging technology in your businesses? Because we come from a generation where technology did not exist, that we just spoke about. So, how are you leveraging the new age technology tools?
So basically, yeah, from traditional mode of business to digital platform, digital way of looking at things. Yes, and it plays a very, very important part now. जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. That's the concept right now. Until unless before that, it was what you bring it to the table that is visible. But now, what you put it on the social media, that is something which is visible. So I have got lot of changes in my team where we have used the CRM. We bring everything on. We don't interact. There is very hardly any interaction which are one to one. We meet once in a week in office where we have our office meeting, but rest of the things are taken care on system with CRM and updated. So that's the core. Website has always helped us. SEOs has played a very important part in bringing the world closer to our business. So I feel gifting requires your presence digitally very, very important. It creates a lot of difference. You don't have to market yourself. It will automatically give you back the business. So that's what.
Saloni, on to you.
Our industry is all about digitalization. The industry that I'm in, I'm blessed.
You've been blessed to start with technology since day one.
Yes, that too. Plus, we also have our own factory where 70% of the workforce, they're all women. And the skills that we are blessed to upskill them with is maybe soldering, So we're actually, it's not the traditional skills that women are maybe supposed to, capitalize on. But we are in the tech space, and the workforce, be it in our factory in Kaithal, Haryana, or be it in Delhi, the ops team, 70% 70% workforce are women. So I think I'm just, it's all about
You're
technology.
struggling with different tools or different techniques that you have to teach your team. So digital has not been something that you have to, you had faced like, I think Raj, when there was no technology. So now they're using digital platforms. You started with digital, so you're teaching them soldering and all those things.
I mean, we're
The skill
upskilling
sets, yeah.
the skill sets.
Yeah.
So maybe the industry that we are in, it's all about technology. So I think, yeah, I'm
Shalini.
Okay, so for me, the technology is super important because we remember that people themselves have really upgraded on their own. I remember my mom used to refuse to use a touchscreen phone. My dad never wanted to buy a touchscreen phone. We have been into that kind of generation. And now when I go to my mom's place, she's like, रुक जा मैं एक code enter कर दूं, Blinkit वाला आ गया. रुक जा मैं code enter कर दूं, Zepto वाला आ गया. So I think it's not just the daily life, but for the business also. If we have to showcase something, initially somebody has to come to your space and they will say कि I can't come, traffic है, बहुत दूर हो. And now it's just a Zoom. You tell them that come on Zoom and I'll show you everything and everything is sorted. I still think, how did we survive so many years without a WhatsApp? I can't think of a life without a WhatsApp these days. You need something, you simply WhatsApp. So I believe things like technology in terms of AI, ChatGPT, your Google.
I think these are the new things we are struggling with.
Or
I had a medical issue and the doctor could not find a solution. And I put a prompt describing my condition on ChatGPT, and it gave a detailed analysis of my problem and what exercises I should do, what medication I should take, and how much time frame it would take. And I was like, this is much better than a doctor.
Yes.
So, I think ChatGPT and such AI tools will soon replace doctors as well. But we need to give the right prompt. We need to understand how to use technology in the right way or right fashion.
And also, I feel because of ChatGPT, you as an entrepreneur has got better time for your business because now the staff is not approaching you for so many things. They're able to make their post, they're able to edit their pictures, they're able to find out the descriptions. Otherwise, you were sitting and doing so many things on your own. So it's like a blessing for the people, especially those who are into this gifting space. It gives you more time for you to hunt and make something new. So it is a blessing for us for sure.
On to our next question. The Indian consumers' preferences are evolving rapidly. How are women in this industry anticipating and adapting to new trends such as eco-friendly gifts, experiential gifting, or hyper-personalization?
So, in fact, very, this particular question is very, very close to my heart because I have been, multi marketing is the company that we are into, but we build the brand Big Gift, which people understand us. But recently we launched Soul Greenie. The reason to launch that was I have seen there is a good shift. The world has evolved in gifting to sustainability. How we can give back to Mother Earth. What all can be added to bring real change. CSR activities, what the companies goes through. Soul Greenie is the solution to that. So on the whole, sustainability is the core to what we are doing at this moment. So I feel women again plays a very important part. They understand, they create. So Soul Greenie needs creations, not that something which we import directly or something that's readily available. So that it becomes a very, very like important where women can come forward together. And there is a saying, when women uplift each other, they are unstoppable. So most important thing is we should try and bring more women power into our business.
You always take my next question away.
So that's how it is. Yes.
I think with us, we are all about customization, all about personalization. We go to a corporate and
We've seen your example.
then the product. We make the product for them. This product, and say the corporate wanted some utility in that. We added a card holder. They wanted this to be a desktop product that could be put on a tabletop. We added a card holder. Then they could probably add this is a pen, can be used as a pen stand as well. So we are all about customizations. We don't want to deal with products that are already there in the market. We build our own. We don't want 10 rupee ka margin. We don't want that. It gets
With personalization, you can increase margins as well.
Yeah.
Because if it's a generic thing, then it's easily available and anybody and everybody can sell that.
Yes, we want exclusivity. We believe in exclusivity, and we want to work with clients who also believe in that belief system. So that's about us.
Yeah. So I know there is a lot of trend changing when it comes to sustainability or eco-friendly and personalization. So one company typically cannot afford everything together. You have to choose one thing primarily. So we are more towards the personalization. We help people creating more of personalized stuff and also making sure when you are making something personalized, it stays for a longer period of time. Because we cannot omit 100% plastic from everywhere. But only thing we can do is we can kind of extend the life of the product which we are using so that we don't have to dump it. Because whenever you go to that bypass area, you see those big mountains of that, kabad. And I tell my kids all the time, if I would have thrown a nappy of yours when you was just 1 year, the nappy is still there, And for that matter of fact, my mom would be telling me the same thing as well. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we reduce that by putting our effort into it.
Hours that we were taught, now there are so many hours.
Yes, absolutely.
From reduce, reuse and recycle to there are so many hours now.
So we are trying to go on something which is a personalized but yet eco-friendly, making sure that we do not harm Mother Nature as any other product. So we tell our customers.
So we've all become conscious about it.
Everybody has become very conscious. In fact, when you are buying clothing, if you see the tags are also eco-friendly. If you see those are also biodegradable. So I think it's not just the plastic bags, it's your phones, it's your laptops, the way they are collecting e-waste and doing everything. I think everybody has got that sense that we need to protect our Mother Nature and everybody is doing their bit towards it. And when it comes to our business, we are definitely taking care of personalization in a heavy manner, because if something has your name written on it, it has a longer life.
And you don't want to throw
You
it.
don't want to throw it, right? So that's what the thing is.
Absolutely. Now we come to our next question. Beyond your individual businesses, how do you see women in the gifting industry contributing to the broader Indian economy and even empowering other women, perhaps through employment, mentorship, or supplier relationships?
As I mentioned in my last this thing itself, woman is playing a very important role. If I go back to, again, the 20-25 years.
I would merge collaboration, networking, and community building in the same question.
Okay. So definitely, as I mentioned, when I go back to 2020, there were hardly any women into the space. So can you imagine the change that has come up? Like I see every other space, there is a woman in our industry now. And it's the way how we are uplifting each other. A women force at work, other than the entrepreneurship journey, what they are doing. Women, most of them feel proud saying that I have 50% of the women working at our end. And most important thing nowadays, the corporates have started saying, are you a woman oriented in a company? Now we are ready to take order.
Because most of them ask you, what is the ratio of women in your company?
Yes.
So this has become an important this, and this consciously is leading organizations to employ women so that they can say that their ratio is 40, 45, 50, you know.
What was
Trying to come close.
What was the fear 20, 25 years back? They were not taking how we will deliver. Today they look forward that we come forward and be a part of their supply chain and this thing. So it's a proud thing when we look at the change that has come in these particular years. I see, like for Shalini, as she's mentioned, 18 years, she is somewhere in that leap to understand when I say that. But for you, definitely you have been like gold with the golden spoon you are born actually.
I won't deny, I'm a Nepo baby. Totally. But I think I would always back it up with data. 70% of the workforce in our business, women.
Oh.
So I think that's something that I'm very proud of.
That's really a proud thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so as Saloni said with the data, so I would like to say that gifting industry currently is around $19 billion, and then it's happening to be around $23 billion in upcoming 2 years. And when I look at the gifting industry, you are always more comfortable in talking to women because she understands your emotions so well. She knows if अगर कोई खफा है तो उसको क्या देना है, अगर किसी से प्यार है तो उसको क्या देना है. Men may be able to sell it better than us when it comes to negotiations and data, but when it comes to really creating something, we understand the needs. And for that matter, we also have around 70% women right now working in our office instead of men, because they understand that how and what to deliver to the people when they're looking forward to it. Not only that, somewhere down the line, people like to work with the women because when it comes to any kind of emotion sharing, as you just mentioned a little bit back before, that women feel more comfortable and they also are more comforting. So when it comes to handling any situation, especially when it is a little emotional and it is little, related to some kind of conflicts, they can handle it better. So what I definitely see is it's not a topic of men and women, to be very honest. It's a topic of women being in gifting. So I want to just say this thing, that women cannot work without the men. But women, when they're leading the gifting industry, it is something which is going towards its peak because they are the ones who are full of emotions. They are the one who understands the emotions. They are the one who are able to deliver the emotions. And they are the one who are able to build up that emotions even in any two stranger people. They know it better how to do it. And that's why they are able to curate those kind of gifts which are meaningful for the people. So I see women really leading this industry because of their emotional patterns.
Totally, Shalini.
When women uplift each other, they are unstoppable.
Absolutely.
And that's what is the scenario right
Is
now.
What is required? Upliftment of each other, understanding the problems, being a mentor, and being a true leader.
Absolutely. And if you see, with that note, I just want to say, earlier there were only a couple of organizations where men were going for the corporate meets. But today, if you see, there are women-derived organizations. There are many, I don't want to name in right now anyone, but if you see, there are typical women organizations which are only for the women.
Only for women.
For the same purpose, when they're able to do more collaborations. And there are exhibitions which are only for women. I mean, not for men.
Imani, she's leading one.
Yeah. Just no,
Supporting.
yes, supporting, of course. We come to our last two questions. One is looking 5 years into the future. What major shifts or opportunities do you anticipate in the Indian gifting industry? And what role do you see women playing in leading these changes?
So most important, the industry is growing. Before, what was called as only the festival gifting area, now it is throughout the year we are a part of the solution to branding. So that means the whole year we are into gifting. So already the industry has evolved on that, but it's growing, like the figures has been mentioned by Shalini. So we are looking ahead that this is the growth that we are going to see. And as we see, 4 to 5 of us in 2000, I see, and I think almost 30 to 40% chunk of women have started getting into entrepreneurship. And most important, every other stall, if I see, there's a woman attached to that. She's connected to that stall. That says that the woman plays a very important role in the corporate gifting industry. And another thing is, as sustainability is taking its core, so it is going to bring the difference, because the creative part of women brings the best to the table when it is sustainability. So I see a great future ahead for the women in the industry. Yeah.
On to you, Saloni.
I think women are going to get involved in a lot of product design, I feel, because of their EQ, emotional intelligence, they're able to curate better offerings with respect to gifting. I think that can be one of the things that I see women would capitalize on moving forward. Apart from this, I think eventually, I think each order, I think, is divided in two. There are two parts to it. First, you go to the marketing team, then you go to the procurement team. The marketing team, usually those meetings are head by women, and the procurement team usually are head by men. You just send the men to sort of do the final negotiations. I wish, I really want women to take on the lead there as well, because that's what brings in the POs, the purchase orders. I think, yeah, these two things, design and final negotiations.
Good.
So what I see with this is, as Indians, India is blessed to have artisans, and most of the artisans are women. And the best part is, because of the social media, now everything has come to existence. Like, we never used to have bridal showers. We never had a baby shower. We never had so much of craze for Halloween. We never had so much of craze for Christmas when it compares with Diwali and Rakhi and all. But if you see, now it has become like a festive year. Now there is no particular time you're waiting for. Now Diwali is Diwali.
Any
But
occasion can
yes, it has become Diwali. Like, you see, there is a huge demand for bridal shower. If you see, there's a huge demand for baby shower. If you see, there's a huge demand for any kind of parties. And
have these employee gifting.
absolutely.
Very
And
nice.
if something was left, even if you're going out, you want to have an experience. And experience is also coming with the help of gifting. So I see this industry booming like anything, especially with the social media hyping everything, every occasion, whether it's a Mother's Day, it's Father's Day. And at times you also get the taunts from your mom, like, "Teko pura saal to yaad nahi aata." And Mother's Day, you're saying Happy Mother's Day. And same with happened with fathers. But then the gifting was never existing for those occasions, right? Now you have cakes for those occasions. Now you have gifts for those occasions. You have corporates for that occasions. And I know there are corporates who are even
We
sending.
have the Environment Day, we have the
Absolutely.
Women's Day.
Yes.
Most so those days are also there,
And-
besides the personal relationship days.
And in fact,
It's also
days like Yoga Day
Yeah.
also contributes to gifting, because people who are into yoga and wellness, they also want to curate gifts. So if you say, every day has become very meaningful, and it has become association.
this is a very important factor which has led to the growth of this sector.
Yes.
And when Saloni was talking about negotiations at procurement, women are not going. I am put to the forefront for negotiations, and my name from Gulati is changed to Gupta ji. So I am considered a very good negotiator.
But I say women are the best negotiators.
Yeah. Even say for negotiations, whether it's with the
Housemaker, if they go to such store.
media buying team or it's with any other area, I'm put to the forefront. So there are negotiation skills you learn from.
Actually, women are the best negotiator. And they learn this at home.
Then, my kids would also, I would say, like, they went for a tattoo or something. I said, did you bargain? No, we can't do that. That's your job. You can do it. So we already have that inherent. You have to just use it.
Absolutely, I will. I'll learn from you all. Another class, master class.
Absolutely.
I'd
Now,
like to add to that. Yeah, I think when you talked about bridal showers, bachelorettes, all that, because the eventual customer is a woman, you need a woman to curate that offering, right?
So true.
So I think it comes back to, when there is a demand, and that demand is by a woman would be better suited to fulfill that demand.
And that's where women uplift each other.
Yes.
Yes.
now I think we had a very fruitful discussion. I hope everybody enjoyed that. We come to the last question. What is one piece of advice would you give to a woman entrepreneur who wants to get into the gifting industry? One piece of advice from each one of you.
Never
What's the takeaway?
okay. Never get bogged down with small failures, as they will lead to a greater success. So keep this in mind and take your life forward and be a lifelong learner. Thank you.
Great.
I think you need to be a salesperson, and you should not shy away from making those cold calls. I think that's my big takeaway. I myself do have dedicated 2 days from like in a week where I would make 70 calls a day with the team. I would make those calls. The first calls would go with the team would be sitting. They have the database in place that these are the trade marketing heads. Da 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 da. All these companies, and we go one industry at a time. So I would make those calls. I'm very like there's a constant knock on the door. I'm okay with that. Very resilient. It's okay. They won't understand. They won't take the call. Abhi koi baat nahi. एक हफ्ते बात करेंगे. एक हफ्ते बात करेंगे. Follow up.
Good that you personally take it up. That's very encouraging.
Salesperson. I think salesperson energy is very important.
Yes.
And I think that's my takeaway.
Yeah, that's for to a younger generation. I said if you can first do sales, you can sell anything, then you can do the rest of the things. Everything else falls in place.
The thing
Because that shyness has to go away. That selling, which actually would generate revenue, needs to happen.
exactly, because if you look at it in a business, sales is the only function that brings in revenue to the business. Rest everybody else is spending. Your marketing team is spending. Your ads team is spending. But you have to bring in the revenue, right?
Sales drives everything.
And with a bootstrap business, you're not like funded. The cash is not there to burn. Cash you burn to earn. And I think that's important. You should be unapologetic. Business chahiye to chahiye.
Absolutely.
So I would just like to advise everyone that because Matar Paneer comes very easy and natural to you, do not treat your Matar Paneer lesser than any 5 stars Matar Paneer, right? Because women have a habit of just taking themselves for granted because it comes so naturally to them that they can cook lovely dal makhani, they can cook lovely Matar Paneer. But when it comes to valuing that dal makhani and that Matar Paneer at the price of 5 star, they're always very apprehensive. I would simply say value yourself higher so that people can also take you higher. Because as said, if you do not value yourself higher, then people will always value you lower. So you need to make sure that you show yourself higher and then people will accept you higher.
Absolutely in agreement to what all of you had to say. So it's all about self-love, self-appreciation. That is most important. If you appreciate yourself, the world appreciates you.
For sure.
So be confident, stand out in this world, face every challenge that comes your way, and you're going to be a winner for sure. Thank you. Thank you, all of you, for this wonderful session.
So with that.